Johnny, I think the last time we talked, we spoke about the first line, and it just doesn't look like themselves. And I made the comparison to it just looks like a movie with a great cast, and you see the trailer, and you're like, man, that's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And then you watch it, and you're like, it's a bit of a dud. Like there's not a lot of substance there, and that's continuing now. Like, what are you seeing out of the first line, and what do they need to do different here to kind of take over a game? Because that's a game against an inferior opponent where that line should not be on for a goal against early on in the third period, but they should be dominating that game, putting it away at some point.
Yeah, I would be less concerned about the goal against. It happened, whatever, turnover, good shot. It's more that they didn't generate a ton. That's the bigger concern, right? That Chicago team is not good. By every standard, by every measurement, underlying numbers, you name it. What am I seeing? I don't want to put this on Mitch Marner. He's got 20 points or whatever he has, but like his energy systems seem like they were running a little bit low. Like he looked tired today, and he looks like he's been tired relative to some of the moments we've seen from him in the past. So he's such a facilitator to make everything else work. I thought Matty Nyes has kind of been fighting the puck a little bit. I think his primary job on that line is to be a retriever and a play extender. And I think some of the touches he needs to extend plays haven't quite been there the way that he would want them or the way the line wants it. And then, Matthews has been probably the best of the three, but they've just been okay. They haven't had that kind of juice. Shift in, shift out, game in, game out. And no matter how talented they are at 5-on-5, if you don't have that, you're not going to be successful. And I commented once on the broadcast, they're getting stuck. Like, I know part of their system is to stretch guys out in the neutral zone, but they're getting stuck with three guys standing at the offensive blue line with their defensemen basically at the top of the defensive zone circles, and they're kind of looking for stretch passes and outlet passes, and it's just too far apart, and it gets stagnant and gets slow no matter how fast you are. And, you put all that in with the other stuff that's going on, and they just haven't been as good as they usually were.
Yeah, for me, Marner has not looked like himself all year. And he's got, I believe, 20 points in 18 games, but he also had a back-to-back 4-point game run, which will really skew the numbers. And after those back-to-back 4-point games, he went pointless for 3 games. He had a few points over in Sweden, and he was pointless today, and I thought he really struggled. And he didn't play a ton. He really did. He played 18 minutes. Like, that says something.
His standard, that's light.
That's Keefe saying, I'm not playing you. Like, that's what I saw today, and he this is, I don't have any stats to back this up, but I feel that he's falling a lot, Johnny. I don't know if you noticed that. He's on the ice all the time. And I can't explain that, but and maybe it's that I'm more focused on him because what I see is a guy who's struggling right now based on the standards he's set and based on what he's capable of doing. Not awful, clearly. It's not like he's playing like a fourth-line player, but he is capable of playing like a top 10 guy in the league. And at no point this season have I seen it. And I thought it was really exposed today. And I just find that interesting that the last few games, Keefe has really dialed back the amount of minutes he's played.
Well, I mean, Keefe is starting to have options, right? Bertuzzi's playing better. Robertson scores a goal. Keefe loves Yarncroke, so if someone's going to get doubled, maybe it's not every time Mitch going for a second shift when Reeves gets sat down for a moment. You could put a Yarncroke out there or a Robertson or somebody else who's doing something. And maybe there's something to the fact that he played too much. Like the first 7-8 games when they're playing 24 minutes a night, whatever it was, that's too much for forwards. But I'm with you. Now, I was a human Zamboni when I played. I was on the ice all the time, mostly because I was weak. But I think that looks to me like when I say energy systems, that's sort of what I'm referring to as well, Hayes. Like, just the strength on the puck and the ability to stop and jump to the right spot to be there to grab the puck and make a play. It's just a half second slow or just a little bit late or just a little bit tired looking, and he just doesn't have it as much in the places that he wants it. So, this is a very high standard he's living up to. He's been the best right winger in the league the last 3 years, and he's not at that level right now.